प्रणव स्वरूपा पाहि
प्रणव स्वरूपा पाहि
प्रणव स्वरूपा पाहि
प्रणव स्वरूपा पाहि
पर्तिपुरीश्वर साई
पर्तिपुरीश्वर साई
पर्तिपुरीश्वर साई
पर्तिपुरीश्वर साई
भवानी नंदन बाल गजानन
भवानी नंदन बाल गजानन
प्रणव स्वरूपा पाहि
प्रणव स्वरूपा पाहि
पर्तिपुरीश्वर साई
पर्तिपुरीश्वर साई
हे पर्तिपुरीश्वर साई
पर्तिपुरीश्वर साई भवानी नंदन
बाल गजानन
गुरुदेवा गुरु गोविंद गुरुदेवा गुरु गोविंद गुरुदेवा गुरु गोविंद गुरुदेवा गुरु गोविंद मंदर गिरिधर शिरडीपुरीश्वर मंदर गिरिधर शिरडीपुरीश्वर मंदर गिरिधर शिरडीपुरीश्वर मंदर गिरिधर शिरडीपुरीश्वर जय पर्तीश्वर साई शिवा जय पर्तीश्वर साई शिवा जय पर्तीश्वर साई शिवा जय पर्तीश्वर साई शिवा गुरुदेवा गुरु गोविंद गुरुदेवा गुरु गोविंद सुंदर रूपा श्री साई देवा 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 वैदेही मोहन नारायण वैदेही मोहन नारायण वैदेही मोहन नारायण गुरुदेवा गुरु गोविंद मंदर गिरिधर शिरडीपुरीश्वर जय पर्तीश्वर साई शिवा जय पर्तीश्वर साई शिवा सुंदर रूपा श्री साई देवा रूपा श्री साई देवा हे श्री साई देवा साई देवा सुंदर रूपा श्री साई देवा रूपा श्री साई देवा वैदेही मोहन नारायण वैदेही मोहन नारायण
वैदेही मोहन नारायण
वैदेही मोहन नारायण
वैदेही मोहन नारायण
गुरुदेवा गुरु गोविंद
माँ हे माँ हे
महेश्वरी त्रिभुवन जननी माता महेश्वरी त्रिभुवन जननी साई जननी सत्य साई जननी त्रिभुवन मोहिनी पाप विनाशिनी त्रिभुवन मोहिनी पाप विनाशिनी वेद कलावती कल्याणदायिनी वेद कलामयी जगदोधारिणी परती नारायणी जगदोधारिणी परती नारायणी प्रेममयी सत्य साई जननी प्रेममयी सत्य साई जननी माता महेश्वरी त्रिभुवन जननी प्रेममयी सत्य साई जननी त्रिभुवन मोहिनी पाप विनाशिनी वेद कलामयी कल्याणदायिनी जगदोधारिणी परती नारायणी प्रेममयी सत्य साई जननी प्रेममयी सत्य साई जननी माता महेश्वरी त्रिभुवन जननी
शिर्डी साई पंढरपूर परतीपुर पंढरपूर
शिर्डी साई पंढरपूर परती साई
शिर्डी साई पंढरपूर परतीपुर पंढरपूर परब्रह्म साक्षात है सत्य साई विठ्ठल
विठ्ठल जय हरि विठ्ठल
श्री हरि विठ्ठल जय हरि विठ्ठल
विठ्ठल विठ्ठल जय हरि विठ्ठल
विठ्ठल विठ्ठल जय हरि विठ्ठल श्री हरि विठ्ठल जय हरि विठ्ठल श्री हरि विठ्ठल जय हरि विठ्ठल शिर्डी साई पंढरपुरा परतीपुरा पंढरपुरा
Love is my form, truth is my bread, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my bread, bliss is my food. My life is my message, expansion is my life. My life is my message, expansion is my life. No reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. Reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. Dharma Satya Ananda, Dharma Shanti Ananda. Prema Satya Ananda, Dharma Shanti Ahimsa. शिरडी साई सत्य साई प्रेम साई जय जय शिरडी बाबा सत्य बाबा प्रेम बाबा जय जय Love is my form, truth is my bread, bliss is my food. My life is my message, expansion is my life. No reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. Dharma Satya Ananda, Dharma Shanti Ahimsa. शिरडी साई सत्य साई प्रेम साई जय जय शिरडी बाबा सत्य बाबा प्रेम बाबा जय जय Love is my form, truth is my bread, bliss is my food.
राधे 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 गोविंदा वृंदावन चंदा
वृंदावन चंद
अनाथ नाथा दीन बंदो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीन बंदो राधे गोविंदा नंद कुमारा नवनीत चोरा राधे गोविंदा
नंद कुमारा नवनीत चोरा राधे गोविंदा
हे वृंदावन चंदा हे राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा भक्तवत्सला भागवता प्रिय राधे गोविंदा
वत्सला भागवता प्रिय राधे गोविंदा
हे वृंदावन चंदा हे राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंधो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंधो राधे गोविंदा वेणु विलोला विजय गोपाला राधे गोविंदा
विनोदा विजय गोपाल राधे गोविंदा
हे वृंदावन चंदा हे राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा पंडरिकाक्ष पांडुरंग राधे गोविंदा पंडरीनाथ पांडुरंग राधे गोविंदा हे वृंदावन चंद्रा हे राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा राधे 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 गोविंदा हे वृंदावन चंदा हे राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा नंद कुमारा नमनित चोरा राधे गोविंदा
कुमारा नवनीत चोरा राधे गोविंदा
भक्त वत्सला भागवता प्रिय राधे गोविंदा
वत्सला भागवता प्रिय राधे गोविंदा
वेणु विलोला विजय गोपाल राधे गोविंदा
विनोदा विजय गोपाल राधे गोविंदा
पंडरीनाथ पांडुरंग राधे गोविंदा
हरिनाथ पांडुरंग राधे गोविंदा
हे वृंदावन चंदा हे राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंदो राधे गोविंदा राधे 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 गोविंदा
शांति शांति शांति।
SaiNaam, I think we're going to have a couple of talks by students, one from the Anantapur alumni. Rachana, Sister Rachana is going to be talking to us first. Rashmi is going to be introducing her. Then followed by, we'll have another talk, short talks, about 15, 20 minutes. We'll have another talk by Brother Bharat Dutt, who is also here, but he'll talk after Sister Rachana talks. Thank you. SaiNaam.
SaiNaam, everyone. My name is Rashmi Rao, and I'm delighted to introduce you all to my friend and our next speaker, Rachna Sachwani. Rachna and I met for the first time when we joined the Anandpur campus for the 98 to 2001 batch. We both were in botany, zoology, and chemistry. And well, she is a sister that I believe I've had for past lives. It was the case the first time I met her, and I felt like I've known her all my life, even though I was meeting her for the first time. And she is such a person. She is so warm and giving. And instead of saying all this, I will just tell you a little anecdote from our graduation time that would tell you who she is as a person and who I'm so proud to call my friend. So every sister was aiming to get the gold medal so Swami can give them the gold medal. And second year, when we were in second year, Rachna was the top contender. She was gonna get the gold, we knew that. And she could have chosen any subject and she would get gold in that. And our goal used to be that like all three, the top three girls wanted to get gold, and the girl who was, Rachna wanted to take zoology, but she knew that the other girl who was also contending for the gold wanted to take zoology. And Rachna would have, she's brilliant. She would have gotten gold no matter what she chose, and the other girl didn't even have to say anything. Rachna opted to take chemistry, so the other girl could get gold in zoology. And that's the kind of person she is. It's my pleasure to call her my friend, and I'm just gonna have her take the stage now. SaiNaam.
My humble pranams at Divine Lotus Feet. SaiNaam, everyone. And thank you, Rashmi. She is my soul sister, as she said. Somehow Swami, just like we have our connection with Swami for many, many births, sometimes Swami sends those people like as angels in our life. So that's how she has been with me. Somehow Swami has kept us together even after we left Anandpur. And I want to start this talk with my first visual memory of Swami in his physical form. This was when I went to Puttaparthi as a pre-Sevadal, and I had never seen Swami physically. And I just got there, got showered. We used to live in Madhya Pradesh, so it was like a long train ride. Got showered, and then we went out. And as we were walking close to the gate, we found that Swami is going in the car somewhere. So we just ran, and somebody told us that Swami is going to be at the hostel, like students' hostel. So we just ran to make sure we get there so that we can see Swami physically. So this wasn't like a formal darshan. And I still remember like my feeling, which all of you can probably relate to the first time when you see Swami in his physical form, the joy which was coming out of me. And Swami just turned towards me and he looked at my eyes and he said, "Today, I am very, very, very happy." And that's exactly the feeling I'm feeling right now. So that's why that memory came back to my life, is how beautifully he brought us together, even just for a day and a half. But it's almost as if we went back to our old days, just like how we ate together, we remembered all the college stories and how our teachers, loved us and all the beautiful memories with Swami. So that is the joy he can give us in, 1 minute, or, through when he's not even like in his physical form anymore. He has that, he gave us that blessing. And as I was thinking of what to talk in like maybe 10 minutes, I was asking Swami for direction because, when it comes to Swami, we all have so much to share. And 3 words came to my mind, and they were omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. So I am going to, the entire life of mine, or probably everybody here, is like a series of experiences with Swami, right? But I'm going to choose 3 things and share with you how Swami has shown his omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence in my life. So the first one is very personal. It's our family. We lived in Madhya Pradesh. We didn't, for the longest time, I didn't even know that Swami actually existed in physical form. However, my mom was an ardent devotee of Swami, and I had seen her praying to Swami, but I didn't know. I just thought it was God, right? Like, so I didn't know that Swami actually physically, you can go and see Swami. And then what happened is, we went through some rough times, and mainly because my dad worked for Indian Railways, which is, big government organization. And he was a very, very principled person, very principled. And as you know, some of the government organization, there is some corruption. And so he was constantly very depressed and dejected about how he had to deal with. And because of that, many times, he actually got transferred a lot because of his principles, because it's just like people get insecure when you have somebody who is so principled. So he got depressed about it, and he used to talk about quitting his job. Now, we were a family of, 4 kids. So we were 4 kids. My brother's right here, and I have 2 younger sisters. So 4 of us. My mom that time did not work. So my dad was the only earning member of the family. And we lived in railway quarters, which is like provided by railways. So my dad talked about it, but, and he was not somebody we could he had we could reason with. So ultimately, one fine day, and this was a Friday, I still so vividly remember that day in my life, because my mom, the reason I remember that day is because my mom was like a rock solid devotee, right? Like, no matter what, she would not break down with any hardships. But that particular day, I saw my mom just breaking down, and she was crying like crazy, and I couldn't understand what happened. So, I still remember I'm trying to console her, my sister is trying to console her, and then we asked her what happened, and she told me that she found out that my dad has tendered his resignation. So she was really worried that because with 4 kids, how are we going to do it? Like, we won't even have a home anymore, forget about, the food on our plate. So, and we got so worried about it, seeing our mom. And I still remember, I told my sister, just go get Swami's Vibhuti, because, like I knew that Swami's Vibhuti will like console her. So my sister goes to the other room to pick the Vibhuti, and then she just like screamed. So we all went there, and she saw that on one of Swami's pictures, Vibhuti has appeared like clouds, like almost like little clouds on all of his picture. And we didn't know. Mummy knew, my mom knew that Vibhuti can appear and Swami shows his presence, but we didn't know this can happen, right? So it was like a biggest miracle we had seen in person. So she called Mummy, and Mummy was like, Swami has come to our home, so we need to just pray. So we all cleaned the room, and we just sang bhajans. And as we were singing, there was another picture of, so this picture of Swami was, many of you might have seen Swami holding like a statue, I think he pulled something from next to the Tirupati river. So that was the picture. But the other picture was the Abhay Hasta picture. So as we were singing to Swami, on the other picture, Vibhuti started appearing, and it appeared like sun rays. So, like it's just like a dot, and then it just like, and my mom just became, totally balanced. And for me, the message was, I'm a big interpreter. So I was trying to interpret what Swami is telling us. And for me, it was Swami's telling that he's the sun behind our clouds. He's going to take care. So because I first saw clouds in the Vibhuti, and then I saw sun. And then my mom told us that we have nothing to worry. Even if he quits, whatever happens, Swami has shown he's taking care. He has reminded us that he's taking care of us. And so when Dad came home, Dad wasn't a devotee. So we didn't even, whatever Vibhuti like fell on the, we just took some and put in his coffee. We gave it to him. We didn't talk about his resignation. We just let him, because we knew already what he's going through. And we just lived our weekend normally, just like in a bliss, because Swami had come to our house. And then Monday morning, my dad gets ready, and he leaves for work. And we knew that he has resigned, right? So we didn't say anything. And then the same person, same colleague of my dad who had informed us that he has resigned, actually called my mom to tell that apparently because it was, resignation was tender, like it was submitted on a Friday, they couldn't they hadn't mailed it to the headquarters. And Monday morning, my dad just went there and asked back that, can you get my resignation back? And then he continued working, right? So that shows Swami's omnipotence, that how, without us doing anything about it, a trouble came in our life, and how he just resolved it for us without, how did he make sure that the resignation doesn't go through on Friday? How did he make sure that my dad's mind changes? So that is one incident which comes to my mind. The second one is about omniscient, and it's, again, a very beautiful incident, which for me, and I think was my way of, Swami's way of telling me how, he always knows everything about us. This was in 97. So I had gone, after my last year of high school, I had gone to Indore. So we used to live in Ratlam. I had gone to Indore to prepare for medical school. And my brother was already a student by then. So what happened is that my sister, my youngest sister, she met with a major accident. So an auto, a tempo, which is a big vehicle, really crushed her on the side, and she had a fracture in her backbone. Now on the same day, this exact same day, in Indore, I met with an accident. And it was my first time away from home. So my accident wasn't major, but what happened is, as I was going to pick some books, I was sitting behind my friend's vehicle, and an auto hit me on my ankle and moved on. So my ankle got swollen. Now, my sister's accident, of course, my mom, was there, and she knew about it. My accident, I did not tell anyone in the family. It's nobody knew about it, because I didn't want them to worry. My mom called my brother and informed him about my sister, and said, please pray to Swami, because it's a major accident for my youngest sister. So Bhaiya sat in the row, in the front row, and he asked, by chance Swami came there, and he told Swami that, Swami, my sister has met with an accident. So Swami immediately created Vibhuti and gave it to Bhaiya. And then he said, and what about your other sister? And then he created a Vibhuti a second time, and now my brother got worried. So he got so worried that who else has met with an accident? And then Swami saw the fear in his eyes, and Swami said, oh, don't worry, I was just talking about Princess Diana. So Princess Diana had met with an accident and had died in a fatal crash. And so my brother cooled down. He thought that Swami is teaching him a lesson that everybody is your sister, and but Swami did create Vibhuti second time, right? Now, Bhaiya did send both the packets of Vibhuti, and then as I was able to walk down, because I was in the third floor, I informed Bhaiya or Mummy, I don't remember, one of them, and then they realized that Swami actually knew, and he actually sent Vibhuti for me. So that is his omniscience, where he told, when nobody else knew, not even my physical mom, the Saima knew that, what I was going through, and, cured me through that Vibhuti. The third incident, which comes to my mind, is his omnipresence. So this was, in my 8th grade. I was a Balvika student, and I went for bhajan, evening Thursday bhajans, and a science student, his name is Anmol Chaube, some of you might know. He was from Ratlam, and he came to the center. He was on vacation, and he spoke about his experiences. So that was the first time I found out that Swami actually has an institute, right? So God is running a college which you can join. And I was thrilled. I was like, oh my God, I want to join Swami's school. So he had been in Swami's school and Swami's college. So I told my Balvika's guru, which I believe is today sitting in this Sai Center, which is so beautiful. And I told him to get a form. They were able to provide me a form. So I took the form, and I told my mom, I want to join Swami's school. So it was perfect time, because I was in 8th grade, and I could have applied for 9th grade, which is when you can easily apply. And my mom looked at, and she tried to look at the fees, and as you know, there's no education fee, but there is, it was said that for the whole year, for hostel and accommodation, there's 5,000 rupees, right? And my mom told me, and it said 5,000 rupees per annum. My mom is a Hindi-speaking person. My mom said, we cannot afford this. And I was somebody who never wanted to make my mom uncomfortable. So I said, okay, and I was crushed inside that I can't even apply. Forget about getting the admission, but I can't even apply to Swami's college. And then I thought, you know what, Swami, if I have to be a student, I don't have to be in your college, right? Who is a student? What's the definition of student? One who follows teachings, right? So I will follow your teaching, I promise you. I'll follow each and every teaching of yours, and then I will consider I'm your student wherever I am, right? So for 4 years, this was a secret dialogue between me and Swami, where I tried to follow his teachings. I was not always passing, but I was trying really hard. And Swami was showing me in different ways that he was recognizing that I'm trying to follow his teachings. And then eventually, when I went to prepare for my medical school, now what happened is that by the time we found out that it wasn't per annum, but my ship had sailed, I couldn't apply anymore. So, and then I thought, in college, I do want to go to medical college because my mom wanted me to become a doctor. So I had this thing that I want to do what would make my mom happy, because she had done so much for us. So I didn't even think of applying for Swami school. And there was this one night, I was sleeping, and after studying late, and then I still remember 4 o'clock in the morning. So I got this dream of Swami, where Swami said, where I saw that there is a lot of kids going in a bus on a picnic. And I just rushed to see, where are they going? And as I went to the bus, I noticed that Swami is sitting in place of the driver, the bus driver. And I was so I thought, oh my God, Swami is taking all these kids to a picnic, and I just really, really wanted to, join them. So I told Swami, can I please come with you also? And Swami said no. Swami said, you wanted to study, right? Go and study. Go. And I started crying. I felt so bad in my dream that why Swami not taking me. So he looked at my eyes with so much kindness, And then he patted on my cheeks and he said, okay, come, come. And the two or three pats on my cheek were the knocks on my hostel door. So I just, got up from my dream and I opened the door and it was 4 o'clock. So I worried because I thought there's some emergency. And the warden ma'am told me that there's a phone which Bhaiya had called from college. So I went down and he told me that he was praying to Swami because it was time for applications. So he was praying to Swami that, she's not even applying and she so badly wanted to join. So he sat with an application in the darshan, thinking that if Swami blesses it, then he will ask me to at least apply, as I'm also applying for medical schools. And when Swami came, and with, lot of pressure, he just took the application and he went away. So my brother said that Swami has blessed the application, so I want you to at least apply. And then I started crying because right then, Swami had given me a dream and said, come, come. So that showed me his omnipresence, that how 4 years he was watching me, and he knew what my heart really wanted. My heart really wanted to be his student in his institute, but I was doing something else. So he sent a message in a very special way so that he can fulfill my heart's desire. And that shows his omnipresence, and he has done that time and time again. So those are the three, stories which came to my mind. And I'll end with a very, very nice experience from our batch. We were very fortunate to be final years on 75th birthday. And it was a few years that we hadn't gotten any interview as a girl, batch. So we were praying really hard. And a thought came to our mind, because Swami used to, how Swami always asks boys, where are you from? And then Swami feels very happy when we say, I am from you, right? Like, I came from you, Swami. Not from, I'm from Madhya Pradesh or Gujarat or, Andhra Pradesh. So Swami used to always ask the girls, Pelli eppudu? That was his question. Like, he would come and he would always ask, when are you getting married? And as finalists, we all started thinking that there has to be a deeper meaning to what Swami always says us. And the thought came to our mind that Swami if God is saying that, he's talking about something bigger, right? So we thought it was union with God, right? Like union. So we all together worked really hard on making these little wedding invitations, we called inviting, the union of soul and divine. And we all held those cards in our hands, and we made enough so that, everybody on the front line is holding it. And then as Swami came, he was so happy. I still remember, he came and we had also made these little hearts with our names on it as symbolic of Swami blessing those cards. And Swami came, he just blessed those hearts. He just touched each, literally as if he was touching each and every heart in that bowl. And then he came and he pretty much took every single card we had made for him. And again, he stood right across from me and he said, today, I am very, very, very happy. So with that note, I just want to thank Swami for all the beautiful experiences he has given me, and may he bless our hearts just like he blessed us, and we continue the journey he has wished for us. SaiNaam.
One sec.
Yes. Yes, thank you. SaiNaam, everyone. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. It's been great, this entire SaiNaam, as we have been listening to, reconnecting, reliving our moments, and we just heard beautiful talks.
So today is, it's my fortune to, privilege to introduce next speaker, Brother Bharat Dutt. And just to give brief introduction, not, taking away, I would love him to share more. Just to give a little bit of background, his family came from Kashmir, and it was in early 1980s that his Swami brought his family in his fold. In fact, his elder brother taught me. Gautam Dutt was our English teacher. He taught me, so I was much younger. And so that's why I said it's a privilege to introduce him. And I think it's very interesting what we have heard in the past as Brother Bharat narrates. He grew up in Kashmir, and his dad was in army, and his life was going great until Swami called his family, and I think he was the only one who was kind of that, rebel kind. He was not happy. He was like, what is this? And so we would love to hear that story, and how Swami showed him his omniscience. And he's had, and since then, when Swami, gave him the faith, and how he's blossomed into a beautiful flower. What I see, he was part of a lot of sports meet activities. Swami took him multiple times. He had the privilege of accompanying Bhagwan in his car from Vrindavan to Parthi or back. He's also been to Kodaikanal with Swami on multiple trips. So really a lot of, that's what Swami picks up, very few handful, students to accompany him to Kodai, where they get to experience his glory and get to serve him from very close. And so I think with that, you can sense the amount of experience and privilege Bharat has had. And so I would invite him, and we would love to hear and, bask in his experiences he has had. Thank you.
I keep feeling your love in me over and over again. It gets sweeter and sweeter as the days go by. Oh, what a love between my side and I, my side and I, my side and I keep feeling your love in me over and over again. My humble pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet. My dear ladies and gentlemen of the alumni, and great devotees. Yes, sure, yeah. And devotees of Bhagwan. It's my privilege to be here for this unworthy being to talk about Bhagwan. I don't like this podium in between you and me. So, it's presumptuous of me to talk about my spiritual journey, but I will just speak about my journey with Bhagwan. Bhagwan is spirituality. And I just had the privilege, for some odd reason, probably my parents' karmas, that I got to spend so much time at the right time with Sri Satya Sai Baba, even though I didn't want to. So I want to share a few anecdotes through my journey with Bhagwan. And I began in 81. I was sitting in the sands of Puttaparthi, and Bhagwan called us for an interview. And in that interview, Bhagwan told me, Swami is your friend. No other friends. All old friends, bhagado. Only friend, Swami. When you are in the presence of Bhagwan, he is so full of the four-letter word. What is the four-letter word? Love. You are overwhelmed. Nothing is in your brain, and everything. You're just overwhelmed with joy that you have the opportunity to be at his feet and be in his presence. And I said, absolutely, Bhagwan. And I walked out of the interview room, and my monkey mind put in this little thought in my brain. Said, my best friend from Kashmir, his name is Sarabjit Singh Sidhu. Let me write just a farewell letter to him. Morning darshan, I got interview. So I said, okay, evening darshan while I'm waiting for Bhagwan. At that time, I don't know in Prashant Nilayam if the post office is still there, but at that time there used to be a post office. And there was something called like a blue inland letter form, domestic mail. So I went there and I got this mail, and I had Satya Sai Vahini with me. So I put it inside and I said, while I wait for Bhagwan, I will write a letter to this best friend of mine. And so I sat down for darshan, and we call it coincidence. It is not coincidence. Bhagwan came out early. He came out early. He looked at me. He says, "Andar jao." So I looked at him. Bhagwan, abhi morning interview diya. Andar jao, he said. When he said andar jao, again, the joy of having interaction with him, you forget everything. I went inside the interview room. There's a group interview, and we sat down. And there's a family interview. We sat down. The first thing when he sat on his chair, he looked at me and he pulled my book. Ye kya hai? I said, Swami, ye book hai. Oh, andar kya hai? Then I realized, oh my God, Swami, inland letter form hai. Cha, kisko likh raha tha? So I was caught with my pants down. And I said, Swami, my best friend, says, Swami, postman also, Ra. He's postman also. So that was the beginning of my journey with Bhagwan. There were a lot of ups and downs. And Sarabjit Singh Sidhu starred in his role very much, because after several interviews, one day when we were inside the interview room door and Suresh was talking about it, Bhagwan told my parents, all us to get up. We all got up. Our family interview was done. And he told me, no, you sit down. Everybody else go. So I sat down. And now I am nervous. Why is he asking me to stay back? Probably there's an issue. And then he looks at me, and he just keeps staring at me. Aim samacharam. Swami, everything good. Kya hal hai? I said, Swami, aapke saath hai, to hal acha hi hoga. He said, nahi, hal acha nahi hai. Now you don't know how to answer that. So I just kept, the safest answer is no answer. So I kept my mouth shut. And Swami said, tu sochta hai Satya Sai Baba Bhagwan nahi hai, ha? Swami, kya bol rahe ho, Swami? Nahi. Aisa kabhi nahi. हाँ नहीं सोचता है अच्छा ठीक है मैं दिखाता है तुमको, he said. I will show you, he said in Hindi. And he waved his hand and he created this picture. And that picture is my last day in Kashmir, where I was playing hockey from the Army Public School. I was behind this cinema theater and I was smoking a cigarette with Sarabjit Singh Sidhu. And that picture he showed me right there. And so now I am completely flabbergasted. I don't know who I'm dealing with. And I just completely broke down and started crying. And Bhagwan patted my shoulder and said, Koi baat nahi. Andar dil mein sochta hai, Bhagwan paas rakhega to acha ho jayega. Koi baat nahi. Acha ho jayega. He said, Bangaru, acha ho jayega. And he said, yeah. So he said, you inside you are thinking that you will become better if Swami pays you attention. Don't worry, Swami will pay you attention. He said, Bangaru. Bangaru means we are not gold, but he wants to make us gold. Fast forward a few years down the road, we had different times in early and mid-80s. So a lot of time Bhagwan would tell me, and I was only 15 years old in 11th grade, and he would tell me, don't go to school tomorrow. Come to Mandir. So I would come to Mandir, and I would basically just hang out with Bhagwan inside. Sometimes have breakfast, sometimes sit down. So one day, we were sitting in the interview room, and for some reason, people were delayed for breakfast, so it was only me and Bhagwan. And again, he sat down, he said, Aim Samacharam. I said, Swami, everything good. I said, okay. And he looked at me, he said, क्या सोचता है स्वामी का डिस्कोर्स? मैं कहा स्वामी क्या सोचता है? बहुत बढ़िया है. It's very good. You are teaching us so many good lessons. He said, अच्छा, I am teaching you lessons, but do you practice? I said, Swami, you can only say, from practice. अच्छा, भगवान तुमको टेस्ट करता है. Hindi, he said, if the Lord tests you, will you pass? He said, candid conversation this is, okay? If the Lord tests you, will you pass? And I said, Swami, I am Bharat, not Valmiki. I will probably fail if you test me, And Swami said, no. You are zero. But with Bhagwan by your side, you are a hero. Therefore, this is a disclaimer for you, just in case anyone thinks that I am anything, I'm nothing. And I just had good fortune to spend some time and learn some great lessons from Bhagwan. Another one was, I have so many, so I'm trying to think which one I should go with next. There was one time when I came early to the mandir. I was a bhajan singer at that time, and I came early to the mandir, and I was sitting. At that time I was already a teacher, so a lot of times I was able to come before all the students. So I came early, and Bhagwan came into the interview room door, and he looked at me and said, "Aage kyun baitha hai?" He has these conversations with you, like, why are you sitting in the front? I said, Swami, I'm a singer. That's why I'm sitting in the front. He said, singer, sinner. It's inside the bhajan also, all the ladies' side was full. It's usually they come early, right? So the moment he said, singer, sinner, all the ladies started laughing. And then Swami looked at me and said, no, Musko. He is part-time sinner, you are full-time sinner. He's just keeping my prestige and reputation. So like this, Bhagwan was teaching us, like our dear sister said, omnipotence and omniscience. He knew everything. He also knew that he had a sankalpa. His sankalpa was to transform me just like he has transformed all of you. And when he says it is my sankalpa, nothing can stop that. Nothing can stop that. But there is one thing which will attract him, and that is devotion. So in the end of that conversation in the interview room, he said, if you practice just one thing I told you, you're all good. I said, Swami, do good, be good. Say, yeah, just do good, you'll be fine. Satya, dharma, shanti, prema, ahimsa. You do satya, you do good. Because if you do one thing, everything else follows. And he says, if you just learn one lesson from me and practice that, that's all you need. None of that complicated Veda and Upanishads. Not that it's wrong, but for people like me, it's probably above my head. So I need something simpler. So Bhagwan was simpler to me. There is a bhajan which says Bhagwan is friend, guru, brother, sister, everything. Right? Bhagwan is like that. He transforms himself to what he needs to be there for you. And so, I want to end with how we can change him. How does that happen? How can we change him? How can we change his sankalpa? It is impossible. Is it? It's not impossible. Right? Jesus said, I separated myself from myself so I can love myself. Right? If you have that pure, selfless devotion for Bhagwan, he has no choice but to get attracted to you. He has zero choice. And I will narrate what happened to me. I think I was in 12th grade or first year undergrad. My memory is becoming murky. But I came down with a high fever. And it was an infectious fever, so the doctor quarantined me and said, you cannot go for darshan. Unfortunately, my parents arrived in Puttaparthi. And when the boys came back from darshan, they told me, Bharat, you know what happened? I said, what happened? Your parents and your elder brother got interview. I said, man, that's not good, right? So, okay, my karma, I will not get that interview. I still had fever. They gave me some Tylenol. Indian Tylenol was called Crocin. I still remember that. So I was still lying down. The next day, the boys came back from the interview and they told, Bharat, you know what happened? I said, don't tell me. So yes, your parents and your elder brother got interview. I said, okay, now I got to take some action. So I go to the warden and I said, sir, I have to go. My parents are here. Swami's giving an interview left and right. I'm missing, Warden says, it's out of my hands. You ask the doctor. So I go to the physician. Physician says, no, 5 days. You have to be in quarantine. So, poor guy. I went back. Third day, everybody came back and said, Bharat, you know what happened? I said, I don't want to know. But I got to know. They got a third interview again in the evening. So I basically resolved to break all the rules. So I went to darshan, Against all advice, I went to the darshan. I sat down. What did Bhagwan do? He came early. No, he gave interview. But he came early. And he took my parents and brother for interview. You see, it's no coincidence. So now I was like totally breaking down and, and Sonam Bhai told me, hey, harmonium, you felt pity on me. He said, harmonium, bhajan ga do. So he gave me bhajan and I sang Neil Bordoloi's composition, Sai Govinda, Sai Gopala. Tere bina koi nahi hai. Le lo mujhe Sai Sharan tumhari. Right? I sang this bhajan, second bhajan after Ganesh bhajan. I sang this bhajan and I opened my eye and someone is tapping me on my shoulder when I finished bhajan. I opened my eyes, my brother is standing, interview room door is open. Just to recap, when interview room door closes, it never opens until all interviews are done. But the interview room door was open. And my brother was standing and beckoning me. And I was like a jackrabbit, I shot out and I went inside the interview room. And Bhagwan totally ignored me. He totally ignored me. Inside the interview room also we went. He talked to my mother, my father, my brother totally ignored me. At the end of the interview, he didn't talk to me. He looked at my mother. He said, देखो माँ, तुम्हारा बेटा कितना अच्छा भजन गाया. ऐसा भजन गाया कि भगवान को भी बुला लिया. मेरा संकल्प था कि ये लड़का इस रूम में आज नहीं होगा. पर इसने क्या किया? So in English, he said, it was my sankalpa that this boy was not going to be in this room today. But because he called me with so much devotion, he is here today because I have no choice. And this is what I want to tell you guys, that Bhagwan, if you call him, he's going to be there. And there's nothing in the world which is going to stop it. Thank you. Jai SaiNaam.
So I've known Bharat for way too long. and his brother was my classmate, and Bharat and myself, we are contemporaries. One thing that I was going to ask him, there was one, I mean, there are so many, Bharat is very dear to us and close to our heart. We had so many sessions where he shared wonderful, wonderful stories of Bhagwan. So is his brother. And one thing I was going to ask Bharat is about, there was one time Bhagwan, called you, I think during morning time, a few boys and Swami materialized a laddu, I believe. And can you narrate that incident? I mean, because there's so many wonderful incidents. As we prepare for food, I think it'll be interesting to talk about food. So
So just to recap, it's not because I'm a good bhajan singer. Anybody can call Bhagwan if you sing with pure joy of loving Bhagwan. So the incident Reddy Garu is talking about is, there was one day I was going for breakfast, and the warden suddenly came and said, "Boys, Swami is calling you." There were 5 of us. We were North Indian boys. Swami had pity on us because we had to eat sambar and rasam and chawal, and we didn't get chapati. So he used to call us frequently. So warden said, "Boys, you have to go. Bhagwan is calling you." So we had to leave our plates. We were going for breakfast. I ran. We ran. At that time there was nothing. No rail station, no bus station, nothing. We had to just run. We ran, and Swami took us into the interview room, and he started talking about meditation. He started talking about meditation, and I'm sitting right at the back. And I'm, like a 16-year-old kid, I'm hungry. And I was going for breakfast. I didn't get my breakfast. And Bhagwan's talking about meditation. I cannot concentrate on meditation. I'm feeling hungry. So you see how Bhagwan, he knows everything. He not only just senses, he knows everything. So suddenly in the middle he stops. He said, "Bhook laga hai? Are you feeling hungry?" And he says, No. Everybody in the front said, No, Swami. I nodded my head. Yes, I'm hungry. So Bhagwan created waved his hand, and he created this big Tirupati laddu, You could see he's dripping with ghee. He took his handkerchief, he put it here. Then he started breaking it. I said, "Man, I should have sat in the front. I would have got the whole laddu." And Swami, started breaking these little pieces. And then he started throwing them. First of all, I am surprised. Tirupati laddu, it's kind of like mishy-mashy. It should just fall apart, but it didn't. He broke all these little pieces, and he started throwing them. The piece which landed, I caught the piece. I looked down, it's a whole laddu. Every one of us got a whole laddu, the Tirupati laddu. And then Bhagwan is saying, "Tinu, Bangaru, Tinu." No one is able to eat. We are so shocked with what we saw just right now. And for him, it's irrelevant. Those things are irrelevant. What he wants to do is to transform us. During that time, I just want to share one more experience. When I was with Bhagwan one day, Bhagwan said, he came suddenly after darshan. He says, "An important man is coming. You stay with me." Okay. Who's more important than you? But some important man is coming. And so then, 2 people came in. One guy was tall, lanky, and he wore a very weird light blue safari suit. The other guy was the owner of Hard Rock Cafe, Isaac Tigret, yeah. And this strange gentleman in blue safari suit. And Bhagwan spoke with them, this and that. And I was just sitting next to Bhagwan on my knees, just wait, whatever he needs. And then Bhagwan, Isaac Tigret got up and said, "Swami, this person has got 5 fixed-winged aircraft and 10 helicopters for you." So Swami said, "Is that so? Well, tell him to take his fixed-wing aircraft and his helicopters, but leave his heart with me." Who in his right mind, I would sell those fixed-wing aircraft, right? And so, then they both got up and he took namaskar. And Bhagwan blessed him, he says, Bangaru, you will do lot of seva. Your wife will do lot of seva. And they left. Once they left, I came out and I asked Radhakrishna, who is that guy? Who is this guy? You know, it was the CEO of Microsoft, Bill Gates. And if you look many, many years down now, you can see how much work the Gates Foundation is doing, not only just in India, in all over the world. And this is what Bhagwan has. He has a vision. He has that vision of blessing people to do good. Do good, be good, see good. He practices that, do good, be good, and see good. A lot of times, my mother used to berate me because when I was with Bhagwan, she would say, you are with Bhagwan's presence and you don't take his namaskar? You are an idiot. And I says, Mom, I can't take namaskar because my job is to take care of his needs. At that time, he used to eat pan, so make sure he has handkerchief, you know, take his letters, take vibhuti, take the bag of vibhuti. That was my job. I cannot take namaskar unless he expressly tells me to. And so, every time I would come after Swami retires, she would say, what an idiot. You don't take Swami's namaskar. And I said, Mom, I can't. This is not my job is to take care of him. You know? She says, no, you're just totally useless guy. You know? You don't take his namaskar and this and that. But this continued for months. My mom used to come to Puttaparthi and spend a couple of months because my dad was in the field area, in the army. So one day, Bhagwan called me to take some saris out where Rajmata used to sit. So I brought the saris out. I put it on the floor. And I see Bhagwan, he doesn't walk, he floats. He floated right to the end of the veranda. And he turned back and he called me. So I was like a little surprised, why he's calling me to the end of the veranda, on the ladies' side, right? So I walked to him, I said, Bhagwan, he says, Tisko. So I gave him a weird look. Like, why are you giving me a namaskar now? And I took, of course, I took namaskar. I got up, and when I was getting up, he put his hand on my shoulder. He says, Mother Clara, Mother Clay. वो देखता है तुमको नमस्कार. Thank you so much. SaiNaam.
Thank you, brother, and thank you, Sister Rachna. Wonderful, wonderful talks and such an inspiring stories and such miraculous times that we all were blessed with. And it was only, Swami said, you can never really deserve me. When you need me, you deserve me. Our karma itself we will not have enough merits to, earn Swami. But our hunger for Swami will earn Swami. And which is, something that I wanted to say, one little incident I witnessed when we were in Puttaparthi. It's a beautiful, Swami's life is, he said, my life is my message. And in every little act, if you paid attention, you learn a lot. And one time, Swami went for a darshan. And then typically as Bharat was narrating, during darshan, he picks up, selects devotees for interview. So on that day, Swami actually, selected one devotee who was in a wheelchair. And we were inside the bhajan hall, and that is, I think everybody might know, but if not, the bhajan hall is separated from the outside area where Swami goes for darshan. So we were inside the hall, but Swami's interview room is outside the bhajan hall, so you can actually see it a little bit. So they opened both the doors because they were having to push the wheelchair in. Otherwise, typically there's one door they open and then Swami stands there and Swami lets everybody in. So on that day, this wheelchair, the devotee was pulled inside the interview room with the wheelchair. And he goes inside, and then after certain time, 30, 40 minutes or so, and everybody's coming out. Swami is standing there. Bhajan hall door is open, so Swami is standing there. And we were able to see Swami. We were also able to see the devotees that are coming out. Now, at this time, this devotee who was in the wheelchair, he was pushing his wheelchair and was walking. And obviously, he got cured in that interview room. So somebody in the front, one of the students, he gets up and says, Swami, you are God. What a divine power. Then Swami touches his back. He said, I touched you, nothing happened. I touched him, he walked. The power is same in both instances. The faith is different. I think there is a wonderful message in this one. Bhagavan he said, I'm like sun. It's up to you to draw how much ever you can. I think the moment we put that effort, I think it comes as a ocean. And that's what I think the stories that we heard today, the little pining for Lord, it comes as an ocean and it drenches you with that. In every one of them, I will narrate one more incident as we get ready for food. And this is also another important lesson in my life. And we stayed in a very small little village back in Andhra Pradesh. And Mahesh Karwa knows this. He's from that same town, not village, town. He'll take offense to the word village, I guess. But in the town, Bhagavan was accessible at the time for about a year or so. He was accessible to devotees just the way he was accessible physically in Puttaparthi. So in some homes, people could talk to Swami, write letters, and Swami would eat food, and Swami would do Aksharabhyasam. We have all experienced it personally, firsthand. So my father used to be, he was a lecturer in Telugu language, but he would get up at 4 in the morning, do the whole, rituals of his puja and Omkar and Suprabhatam. Then he used to play Veena. My father plays Veena, and through him I learned a little bit of Veena. So I will accelerate my story. Then I can smell the food now. So that morning, my father was playing, and he thought, does God need music? Why am I playing? It's not my profession. My profession is teaching. Why am I doing all this stuff? So maybe I don't need to play Veena today. And so he just puts his Veena on the side. Then he goes on with his daily routine. And that evening, and this was in 1972 or so, and phones were very rare, if there were any. And we were, as I mentioned, the town was very far off from Puttaparthi in terms of the travel time and the travel complexities. So it's not like we had any communication with that. So that evening, we all go to somebody else's home for bhajans. And just the way you see a big photograph here, everybody's sitting there, and just as they start Om, there was a little something fell from the top of the photograph. This was the first, I was about 3-year-old at the time, and this is my first memory of a miracle. And I was also in the audience, and something fell from the top of the photograph. And then somebody goes and then looks at what fell. And it was a small little vibhuti packet, on which, on one side, there was a little drawing of a Veena. And on the back side, it was written Veera, which is my father's name is Veerabhadraya. So they said, well, Veera, it must be him. So they gave it to my father. And he opens this little vibhuti packet. And in that, Swami is written, Veerabhadraya, Nee Veena Vintunna, SSS. This is what Swami writes. What transpires in a little, in front of an altar, hundreds of miles away, yet Bhagavan, who resides in our hearts, responds to that because he is there to support us on the spiritual journey. The reason he does all that stuff is to give you the confidence, give you the boost, give you the energy so that he can stand with you, because you have to will it in the end. When we will it, only then we actually get on the path. He will not will for us. That is the what Swami says, it is Samyak Sankalpa. We talked about this afternoon. The Samyak Sankalpa is, it's the will of the divine aligned with your will is what transforms you, which is essentially the world. When we transform, the world transforms. And one other thing, Brother Nikhil asked me to repeat it. So those of you who have heard it, please forgive me. I'm repeating too quickly. Generally, I repeat over a period of time. So one thing, this is something that is a little a thought process. It is an experiment that was going in my head. When Swami says, "You do my work, I'll do your work. I'll take care of you." So I always used to have this little logical question. Why is it that I need to do your work and you need to do my work? It looks inefficient. Why don't you do your work and I'll do my work? So I always used to think like that. Obviously, I knew that was a wrong thought process. But just, conceptually, I was thinking, so why is it that Swami is asking us to do his work? And it did hit over a period of time to understand what does it actually mean. See, when Swami says, when you do my work, I pay you. He said, not in this little useless currency. I give you the good karma. The way Swami gives is, he'll give you millionfold. You do 1 penny of work, he does millionfold to you. So this is the best investment. You put little, action towards Bhagavan. Now you earn enormous punya. And that with enormous punya, he can take care of you. So he will take care of you our life very easily. But when we do his work, when we are part of Swami's organization, when we crave for Bhagavan, not people, just Bhagavan, when we have the one-to-one connection, he responds to us with so much clarity, it is baffling. And it is actually a wonderful journey. I think with those words, I will release all of you to enjoy the food. SaiNaam.
Just a housekeeping announcement. We will now break for dinner, and then we will reconvene. I know how nice this whole session is. We will have a beautiful music session starting at 7:30. So please be back by 7:30. And please do not wait to have your dinner. Please try to complete your dinner by 7:30 and be here, because there are volunteers who need to wrap up that department. So while we are enjoying the music, they have to do the work. So please try to accommodate that request, and let us all meet again at 7:30.
So I was just going to say, we did prepare just a small music program with some of the local young adults also, some from actually Florida too. So please do come back and please do stay. Music is something that Swami encouraged a lot, and this is something that Swami was part and parcel of our lives, making us prepare for music programs, make the performance. So this is something that we all reminisce. So please do come back, and then we'll wrap it up by 9 o'clock. So SaiNaam.
ब्रह्म कर्म समाधिनः अहं वैश्व